The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. Wishing he had a mulligan. That's not how you want to start the game.
Not at all, because not only do you give up the penalty and good field position, but it just kills the momentum of your team as you start a game.
Now we give up the middle to Williams. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
He was brought down.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
2 yards to go, second down.
19 Tigers.
Back to throw. McMahon. He's going to walk one deep left side here. And this is caught inside the 40. And they rattle off a big one. 49 yards.
First and goal.
And this offense has come out swinging here in the early going. They pick up a nice chunk on that pitch and catch. And the two of them have this offense moving in the right direction to start this game.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. First and goal.
Let's go now. Check up.
Williams will take it in. Touchdown. The 3 plays already in the end zone. That was quick.
We always talk about offenses understanding what they want to do before they go into a game, and they practice it. They have their script and the plays they want to open with. But defenses aren't just reactive. They have their own ideas as well. These ideas didn't get implemented very well. 3 plays and a touchdown already scored against them.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. But a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Down and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Looking to put a drive together.
43 rail. Black, 95. Smash, red, set.
Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, his first throw again, going to be intercepted. And Charles already down 7-0 early. They opt to take a shot there on the first play of scrimmage, but that plan backfires.
That feels a little bit like last week's loss lingering into this game, doesn't it? You know, you're down 7 already. You lost last week. It's almost like they're trying to get it all back in one shot, trying to take a big chunk play right out of the gate.
After the interception, here's Romo. For a right side here, complete. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be second down. When you look at this defense, right now in the National Football League, they're ranked number 18 against the pass.
And even though that's not the greatest ranking in the world, one thing you can say, they get after the quarterback. They're in the top 10 in the league in sacks.
Oh, they're going to run a little pump pass here. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be third down at about the length of the football. Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on third. They'll fake the handoff. Now Romo. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? Third and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on third and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Williams brings it in. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 16 yards, a first down.
Result is a first down.
Finding Williams once more, complete. This defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and try to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, Charles, it's now a 2-touchdown lead in the opening quarter. Following that pick six, they are off to a fast start in this one.
And absolutely ecstatic on the sideline after that play, aren't they? Not just because they got the lead, but when they're seeing one of their guys get a chance to take it in for 6 over the upper pair of touchdowns, they got everything going their way early on.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they have the game here followed by... The open date on their calendar next weekend, and Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner, they can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
Looking to put a drive together.
Set. Drill, 52. Ready?
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. When you're down early, how do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
Set, hut. Shot. Hut, hut.
And inside give to Jones. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage.
27-yard line.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Set, blaster, 6. 60 red. 60 red. Set.
Looking to throw. Wallace. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Let's go. 45, blue striker. Set.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. Touchdown! A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And his guys have made this a one-score game now.
The kicker on for the point after.
Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, second year in the NFL. But I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the second-year quarterback.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive.
They currently sit one game over 500 thanks to their victory a week ago. But, Charles, they've been really an up-and-down team all year. Do you think that they have enough to get into the playoffs?
Well, you did mention they've been up and down all year, so to me, it depends on what week you catch them. When they're at their best, I think they're definitely playoff-worthy. But to me, they haven't been able to bring the intensity week in and week out, and that could be their Achilles heel.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he'll be taken down here as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. After one, 14-6 our score on EA Sports.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and 3.
Let's go now. Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
Out of the pistol, here's Williams.
A good space to operate there as he takes his start inside the 35-yard line.
A gain of 13. It's a first down.
At the
I think
34-yard
they like this
line.
drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Back to throw, Romo. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this one is incomplete.
In the end zone.
Zone coverage there,
It's
and they
now
were playing
2nd and
deep.
10.
That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Up the middle, it's Williams. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the
Down
line.
behind the line of scrimmage.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
An awful lot of congestion in the middle third of the field, but how about our defensive tackle right there? He didn't just hold the line, he provided some push and smacked the ball carrier down for a loss.
He's got his running back out of the backfield.
And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Cougar 19.
Go. Romo. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. A great effort there. He scored on the ground and through the air, as his guys are able to extend their lead. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Yeah, you're so right, because you really need to rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, whoever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
At their own 13-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive.
Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done, because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
Here we go. Zone red, black, 95. Hut.
They'll try the right side with Jones. Trying to turn the corner, but they string him out and stop him at the line of scrimmage. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Grill green. Come on, set. Yellow, 43. Needle blue. Red, cycle. Ready.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
Here we go. Hut, hut.
Out of the pistol to give to Jones. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before it's taken down.
22 yards.
That good for 22 and a first down.
Down. A gain of 22 yards.
Yellow.
And a first down.
Set. Ready. 10 black. Set. Go.
Off the play fake. Wallace is going to let this one go deep. Man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. A great play there. 58 yards. And his guys are able to close that gap just a bit. The offense going to stay on the field as they will line up and go for 2.
The offense will line up for a 2-point conversion.
And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it.
The score, our home team 21, visitors 12.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
35-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the upper side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They're guarding against the upset.
They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
Now 3rd down.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. They need 18 yards here on third down.
Panther 60, Panther 60.
A shotgun snap for Romo. And this is going to be incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on third down. So far, only allowed one conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way to the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive.
Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time. Charles, remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Over the middle, it's complete.
Wallace's pass.
They'll work from the 36 on 2nd and 6.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the 36-yard line.
Back to throw. Wallace. And he'll find Hall.
Wallace's
Now
pass.
another timeout called for by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Third down and 1.
Come on, set. Red, 38. Hut, hut.
Looking to throw. Wallace. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
1st and 10.
5 yards on the play there as the
line.
drive will continue.
A 1st and 10 here. And, you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
They'll look to throw again. Jones has it. And he's got some space here. And he's going to be shoved out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
That's
From
another
down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
A 41-yard
Here we go.
gain. Result
30,
is a
steal,
first down.
black. Set.
Off play action. Wallace. And he's got it. Touchdown. A great effort there as the first half is winding down. And his guys are able to make this a close game again.
So the late touchdown there, and that certainly changes things as we move toward halftime.
Yeah, and there's a potential for things to change even more because, remember, they get the ball first to start the third quarter. So they can potentially double up here and take the lead. A great opportunity for them.
19.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here.
At their own 35-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive.
And with a 2-point lead in hand, they may not do anything too aggressive here.
And the pressure gets to Romo as he goes down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
At their own 31-yard line.
Looking to put a drive together.
Set, 52 blaster, 60 quad ray. Set,
throwing to start the drive. Wallace. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
Leads to second and 10.
set, hut. 10 black. Drill green. Ready.
Back to throw. Wallace. He'll drop this underneath for Jones. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
That's good.
16 yards, a first down.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Hey, green. 52 blue. Hut, hut.
Up the middle, Jones. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Midfield to the 48.
Second and 5.
It's a gain of 5.
Black
Brings
ultra.
up second
Let's go
and
now.
5.
Black 40. Hut.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. It's complete to his big target, Crumpler. Touchdown! A big play there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And his guys have taken the lead.
For the extra point.
Now the extra point. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go.
The score. Visitors 26. Our home team 21.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll bring this out to the 35-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they'll be working from behind now following the touchdown a moment ago on the opening drive of the half.
I think the guys right now, as they go out on offense, they're zeroing in on one big key. They don't have to do anything differently just because they're down on the scoreboard now. The intent, still the same in what they plan to do on
Leads to
offense.
second and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Second and 10. Now Romo. Over the middle, complete. That's Romo's 5 yards. Now it's third and 5.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
From the gun on third down, Romo. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
46-yard line.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route. But he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction. I was able to track the ball in another.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
It's a loss of a yard. Brings up second and 11 at the 44-yard line.
From the gun, here's Romo. He's got Mason complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
First and 10 at the 34-yard line.
That was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake in the line of scrimmage. Got right into his route. And the quarterback hit him in stride, and he was able to run free after the catch.
They'll fake the give. Now Romo. That one thrown across his body, and it's incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Targets Miller here on the out route. He's got him. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
down.
A gain there of 21
First and 10
yards.
at the 13-yard line.
From the 13.
Ready? 60 vice. Count.
They'll run out of the gun here. Williams trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more.
12-yard line. A gain of
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
First and 10.
I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10.
Yellow.
Throwing to start the drive. Wallace. He finds his man complete. It's Hall. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
A gain of 16 yards. And a first down.
The give is to Jones. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
This is 2nd and 8.
Cycle.
It's 2nd and
Let's go
8.
now. Black.
Looking to throw. Wallace. Wide open receiver complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Come on, set. Hut.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he stopped immediately there.
Taken down right at the line of scrimmage.
3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more
10.
after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Green. Ready?
A give to Jones. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up.
And it's 3rd down.
Tough spot here. 3rd down and 11.
Set. Hut. 52 blue. Blaster. Stay. Set.
Operating from the gun. Wallace. He's airing it out for Williams. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
On the deep ball.
Just because you've got the lead in the 4th, it doesn't mean you have to play it safe. I like the aggressive play call there to push it downfield. That time, it didn't work out.
So they bring out their punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead.
19 tight. 19 tight. Ready?
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
To number 83.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
Romo. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Desperation time for Romo on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over.
Incomplete.
The 4th down pass play doesn't work out.
Okay, ready?
And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field.
Ready. 60 red. Drill.
Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
Now Jones. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. 52 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Jones again. Well, he will lose yardage here. Back to the 4-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up. The loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Ready.
3rd and goal at the 4-yard line. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. It's their quarterback. A 4-yard touchdown scamper. And they're able to add on to their advantage. To try here for the extra point. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead.
Makes the score. Visitors 33. Our home team 21.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Romo now to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Let's go now.
Here's Romo. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, part of this defense now with multiple interceptions in this game, but this time they say turnabout is fair play because, remember, they had a pick 6 on the other side, and now they get a pick 6 of their own.
Yeah, they actually added to some of their nice play throughout this ball game, and good effort by them to secure another interception on this one. A better effort to take it all the way back for 6, and how about an exceptional effort to match their opposition's pick 6 from earlier in this game.
And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Now, this game went off the rails early for them and never really got back on track. And these fans, they were expecting to be on the other side of the scoreboard. But that is not the case as we play on here in this 4th quarter. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave it with a 2nd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. To throw is Romo.
Now he'll tuck this and run.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time.
Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. Good gain there on first down. It keeps him in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. Ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They're in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively.
60 red. 60 red. Ready?
And they'll indeed take a knee.
Come on, set. Yellow, 43. Set.
And they take a knee.
Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So for our visitors, it's a win they needed, if for nothing else than their sanity, as they move to 4-6. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the home team here,